You know, gamers don't have it half bad these days. We have several successful platforms to choose from, worldwide release dates, various outlets for publications, and translations of all sorts of titles. It's not really a question of will we get the next crazy and niche game from Japan, or a quirky indie release on a home console, but rather a question of how and when. Sometimes I think we take it all for granted. It wasn't that long ago when things were much, much rockier. Not too long ago, it was less common for a publisher to bring the fringe of gaming to America, let alone do it with grace or style. Translating and releasing a game with a lazy level of basic functionality, void of grace or relatability, was the norm. Communicating with fans and adding a tangible layer of transparency to what was going on behind the curtain was more than rare. Luckily, from the early 1990s to the mid-2000s, there was a strong exception to these standards. And sometimes it takes a look back to see and appreciate how important a force like this can be. This is what I want to talk about. This is what I want to spend some time explaining. I want to talk about the world of Working Designs. Working Designs was a US-based game publisher and translation localization house that was active from 1991 to 2005. In that time, they shook things up and did many things right that would not become the industry standard for a long time. They made a name for themselves, specializing in niche games that would often otherwise be overlooked by the greater gaming industry. They released RPGs, shooters, strategy games, and other odds and ends, often on niche systems that would most likely never have had a chance in the West without them. Starting with Parasol Stars on the TurboGrafx-16, and ending with a two-game set of Growlancer Generations on the PS2. You see, over the course of Working Designs' time in operation, it was not uncommon for games to look like this, read like this, and sound like this.
I asked Dubois, the designer, to come too.
Oh, there's no problem with my CFOX system. No accident should have occurred. Oh!
Stop it, Nicole. I can't move. Is anyone there?
Kazama, if you don't want the hostage killed, you should keep quiet.
Guy, the stealth bomber is in the back of this factory.
Ugh. Working Designs broke this pattern to pieces. They had a great eye for quality titles and were often praised and acclaimed for their choices in productions. They were very early adopters of the CD format in console gaming, and really utilized the medium by bringing great attention to things like voice acting, which was often treated poorly in America at the time. They were responsible for bringing such hits as Lunar 1 and 2 and Alundra to Western markets, as well as cult favorites like Magic Knight Rayearth on Saturn, or Cosmic Fantasy 2 on the TurboGrafx CD. Always keeping players and fun as top priorities. They went the extra mile. They did their own thing, often at the opposition of those in higher control. When you play a game put up by Working Designs, you can really feel the attention and care put into it, even today. Today, we have companies like Xseed and NIS America doing similar things, carrying on the torch, and as I said, the industry has very much evolved since Working Designs closed doors in 2005. If a group like that doesn't pick up a niche title that has demand, there are squads of fan translators and hackers out there on the internet that band together to fill in the gaps. So, with all that said, you might be asking yourself, why should I care? Why should I be interested in a company that did all of this over a decade ago? Because the feeling is still there. They went through so much crap doing what they wanted, and they did it with love. Not only for the fans, but for the material they worked on. I have a great deal of respect for a group that managed to stand out in the crowd with quality and tenacity. From packaging to gameplay to the text itself, Working Designs did important work. As a retro gamer who has tried some of the best and some of the worst, I can attest that Working Designs' releases stand out. And honestly, I'm not the only one who thinks so. This is not to say that Working Designs were some godlike force that blessed the world with gaming. Some tweaks and changes have not aged perfectly across the years. Some instances of injected humor or adjusted game mechanics and settings make them something of a divisive group these days. However, I think most of these contestable examples are fitting or explained away when history and time of release are taken into account. It's just another thing that makes Working Designs' catalog and release decisions more interesting from a time capsule / cultural standpoint. That is why, out of respect, appreciation, and for the sheer fun of it, I'll be moving forward going over every one of Working Designs' releases and their history and impact along the way. The first wave will start with the 16-bit era, covering the TurboGrafx-16 and the Sega CD. I will be examining the company's highs, lows, and more controversial decisions of their 14-year run. I really hope you tune in to some fun, interesting games and hear some odds and ends that go with them. These are the games. This is the history. This is the journey. This is the world of Working Designs. This series goes up to 11. See you soon. Thanks for watching. I hope you like this little start off to my big series. Please stick around as we get into the thick of things and explore some great games. If you like this, please like, comment, and subscribe, and pass it around. It's very much appreciated. Thanks. Bye for now.